Hi there. Welcome. Come on in and get yourself nice and comfortable. And how are you today? Well, I have been told that you're almost ready to go and infiltrate the humans. Is that correct? Well, before you do, there are a few tests I'd like to go through just to check that you are completely ready, because I don't want you to get discovered. We're going to look at words to begin with. I'd like you to confirm for me whether the words I show you are real words or not. We'll do some emotion recognition, which I understand is very tricky. Some word association tests from everyday words to random concepts. Some non-verbal communication tests. I need to make sure you can do things like wave, for example. A few cultural knowledge reminders before some final vocabulary calibration and confirmation of your cover story. Is that okay? Then you can be on your way and let the infiltration commence. Marvellous. So, what I'm going to do first is show you lots of words. And I'd like you to tell me whether they are real words or not real words. Put them onto the clipboard. Sorry, there will be lots of paper shuffling. So, here we go to begin with. Tell me, is this a real word? Yes, that's the word pour. Well done. What about this word? Do you recognise it? The word brand is not a word. Quite right. What about this one? Yes, that is indeed a word. Fantastic. You're okay to carry on with these? Yep, just until I'm happy that you're confident with the language. So next, this word here. Real word or made up word? Absolutely right. The word pipso, whilst a fun word, is not a real word. This one. Yes, I think you've been studying lots of human versions of these. It's the word brain. And this one. Again, the word brab. Fun though it is. Not a word. Continuing on with the word ungle. See, now that one was there to catch you out, although it didn't. Yes, while that word is familiar to us, you won't hear the humans using it. Next. Yes, belt is a word. Good. Also not a word. Continuing on. Good, that is a word. Yes, that's right. And this one. Speeding through these now. Just a few more then. Good. That's right. Yes, again, this one sounds very similar to words that you would recognise, but no, you're quite right. Almost there. It's what we hope things go without. Yes, that's right. Very good indeed. Good. Yes, well done. And I believe these are the last ones. Yes, that's right. Wonderful. Well done. So, how was that? Hopefully, there wasn't too much processing needed there, and the words were obvious to you as being real or not real. Fantastic. Next, we're going to do a little emotion recognition. Now, I understand that this is very tricky. However, what I thought we would do is start with some of these. Yes. And then what we will do is we will move on to human faces. So, have your best guess at which emotion these pictures are conveying. And remember, it's really not a problem if not, as I say. Humans are difficult to read at the best of times. Okay, so. Yeah, good start. Good. Yes, that one was tricky. I apologise. The same as the one at the top. Little different. Yeah. Good. One more. Fantastic. How was that? So, let's make it a little trickier then. Let's have a look at some human faces. These are the kinds of faces you will be seeing a lot during your infiltration. Some of these are emotions and some of these are moods. Just take a close look to begin with. Huge range of things going on here. Let's have a little look at a few. Tell me about this face here. Fantastic. What about this face here? Can you see? Very good. This face here. There's an awful lot to take in here. What about this face here? The longer you spend among the humans, the quicker you'll get at deciphering these faces, perhaps. Again, it's something we're not all brilliant at, but sometimes cues can help. What about this as a mood? And what about this one? Good. Let's do a couple more. What do we think is happening here? Fantastic. And one more. What do we think is happening here? Wonderful. I'll let you take a break for a moment while I put some new things on my clipboard. I understand that's very complex, but I'm starting to feel more and more confident that you're ready to head out among the humans. That's great. So next, a word association test. The way this works is I will give you a word and you need to tell me the first word that comes into your head. Hopefully, when you're using one of the languages that the humans use, associated words should come into your head, and hopefully fewer words that aren't really associated, but we'll see. I have 4 different categories for you. The first is everyday objects, things that the humans use every day. Then some cultural references, some social situations, which we'll come back round to later, and finally some abstract concepts, which the humans do tend to talk in a lot. Ready? If you're stuck on any, just let me know, that's absolutely fine. If when I say a word, something completely different comes into your mind, just say it out. No problems at all. Okay, so everyday objects. Your first word is fork. Your second word is shoe. Good. Your third word is car. Well done. Your fourth word is house. And your fifth word is phone. Fantastic. Good start with those everyday objects. Cultural references now. So your next word is movie. Great. Your next word is music. Can you remember the names of any popular human singers? Very good. Your next word is book. Following that is holiday. And finally, for the cultural references section, sport. Do you remember the national sport of the country that you're infiltrating? I'll have to take your word for that. Okay. Next, social situations. So, your next word is party. Following that, your next word is work. After that, your next word is dinner. What about the word school? And finally, for this section, the word hospital. Very good. So finally, for this section, abstract concepts. That's the end of the word association after these 5. So, your first word is time. What's the first word that comes into your head when you hear the word time? Good. Next, an extremely abstract concept. Do you remember learning the word dream? Yep, great. What's the word that comes into your head when you hear the word dream? Definitely make sure you retrieve lots of information about that for us. Next, the word freedom. Next, the word war. And finally, the word truth. We must be very careful in our interpretation of that one. Fantastic. That's all of the word association done for now. How are you feeling? So next, before we go back to words, I'd like to do a little test of non-verbal communication, if I may. Thank you. So, do you remember firstly how to wave? Well done. There are lots of variations. You have this one, you have this one, and even this one. Good, well done. Next, do you remember how to nod in a situation where you might agree with something? Wonderful. Next, do you remember how to smile? That's rather good. However, humans don't have as many teeth as we do, so try not to smile quite so wide. Try again for me. Yes, it's very good. Please remember that when smiling among the humans. Good. And finally, there's every chance you might need to show mild annoyance. Any kind of eye roll or well done. Yeah, anytime you need it, just kind of a ugh. That's great. Well done. So, non-verbal communication is starting to look just as good as your verbal communication. Speaking of which, I'm going to show you another picture now, because we're going to talk about certain situations you may find yourself in. Back to that cultural knowledge. Do you remember we spent a little time learning about birthday parties? Let me show you a picture. Here we go. Remember we talked about a birthday cake? Yes? Good. Do you remember any of the words associated with a birthday party? You remember that some of these concepts are quite new to us. Do you remember, for example, the word for the flexible membrane bags? Yes, that's quite right. Well done. And do you remember the ethanol-based poison that you might have to consume? Good. And in your best singing voice, please, do you remember what we have to sing to the humans on this occasion? Well done. Almost there, almost ready to release you. Vocal calibration test next, with some vocabulary. What I'd like you to do is finish the sentence. I'll give you some options. The humans were what at the party? Your options are laughing, feasting, or lurking. Which is the most acceptable answer? Fantastic. A few more. Your next sentence is the crowd something the performer on stage. Your options are admired, copied, or studied. Good. A few more for you. The humans what their evening meal together? Shared, consumed, or dissected? Be careful with that one. There is a difference between cutting up of food and dissecting. Next, the family what after the long journey? Reunited, huddled, or fused? Good. Next, the humans walked what down the street? Casually, aimlessly, or menacingly? Yes, all are correct. However, we are unlikely to say menacingly. The friends what for hours, laughing together. Talked, conspired, ran. Very good. The celebration ended with what? Joy, exhaustion, or silence? Well done. Next. The human what the stranger in the dark alley? Greeted, observed, or interrogated? Be careful with your choices. And finally, the humans gathered around the what? The table, the light, or the carcass? Good, well done. Almost there. Finally, just tell me a little more about your cover story. What is your name? Oh, that's a good name. And tell me, where are you from? Where do you live? What do you do? And finally, are you a human? That one is a little bit of a trick question. You must always respond with surprise if asked that one. An immediate denial might well get you found out, unfortunately. So, before we send you off for infiltration, do you have any questions for me at all? Okay, well then, feel free to head out to begin that mission of infiltration. I wish you all the very best, and upon completion of your mission, I look forward to seeing you again soon. Best of luck. Bye-bye.